Hi. If your time like my timeline, you would have been seeing for the past couple days post after post after post about Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. If you have been living in a pineapple under the sea and you don't know who Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is, so she is a very eloquent, very charismatic, very beautiful therapist. She promotes herself, has been promoting herself as a doctor, a psychologist, therapist, life coach, motivational speaker, etc., etc., etc. And she is in a bit of a pickle right now because folks online are challenging her credentials. Now, to me, this isn't just a scandal, it's a turning point in how we consume mental health advice online. Now, after COVID, there was this explosion of, most online, the media online exploded after COVID. I myself became a YouTuber as a result of the COVID pandemic and the lockdown and having to learn new skills, new ways of presenting information to my students. And then I branched off with my other channels and so on. So persons have been on social media promoting themselves as therapists, as life coaches, motivational speakers, influencers. And usually, in order to do this, these people are very charismatic, easy on the eyes, and it seems like we drop our guard in the presence of such people and we don't have that rigid system of demanding or requesting that they show proof of their credentials. Therapy pretty much has moved from the indoor private practice. Not that we don't have that anymore, but a lot of therapy now is online. We have a lot of talk shows, we have a lot of podcasts, social media persons providing online therapy. And, the digital therapy culture exploded. It created a lot more accessibility. I saw something the other day that said the most used thing for AI is therapy. I don't know if that is true, but I do remember seeing some statistic that said most people now what they use AI for is for personal therapy. And even AI has come under attack or scrutiny lately because it has been, I think, on 2 occasions, AI was implicated in the unaliving, persons unalive themselves based on guidance that they received from AI therapy sessions. So this is something that is, very controversial, and it's just the way we do things now. Everything is online. It's accessible now to most persons. It's relatable. And so there's a decline in traditional in-office therapy sessions. We can use this Dr. Bryant moment as a case study to ask ourselves, what does this really reveal about our willingness to trust, how important branding is and the commercialization of healing culture, and why audiences expect therapeutic figures to be morally perfect. And when they are shown to err, or when they are shown to be less than what we expect, we feel betrayed, personally betrayed. Is it a structural problem? The fact that there's lack of regulation in online coaching and therapy spaces where people can just come and declare themselves as therapists, as psychologists, as whatever. The boundaries are blurred between entertainment, education, and emotional support. Just regular emotional support that you would provide to a friend, to a relative. Now, we know Dr. Bryant, she's a Black woman. So she represents, some people would look up to her as representing the Black community, but she also represents the educated woman community. She boasts of having several degrees. I think I remember her saying if it's not 3, it's 5. Don't quote me on it, but I watched an interview where she was saying she had several degrees. It's either 3 or 5, she was saying. Now she's being asked to prove that she has these credentials, and it seems as if she's unable to prove. Now her explanation is that the university that she attended is no longer in operation, and she was unable to access her transcript, and she doesn't have a physical PhD to show. So, this is raising a lot of eyebrows to many people, and they're saying, come on now, you must have something, some picture, some kind of documentation. Somebody should be able to come and vouch for you. If you went as far as to attain a PhD, no trace, no proof, no documentation, nothing, and then to just be saying, well, I don't need to prove this to any of you. After having been doing the rounds for years and charging a hefty fee, I hear, for her sessions, and just generally being seen by a lot of persons as an expert in the field. Now, psychology is something that we should not take lightly. We're talking about something that influences how people behave, how they act, how they respond to others. So this is not something that we should take lightly. Marginalized communities especially might, look up to these online figures for emotional guidance. And this is why it hits so hard, these controversies hit so hard in these online spaces. We really need to set some standards for ourselves as persons and generally in the community to see where do we go from here in terms of when persons present themselves to us as influencers and as experts. We need to be discerning, and we need to have some kind of standard in place for us, for our personal individual selves, to say, okay, how am I sure that this person is even worthy for me to consider their opinion? We can't just accept because, this person looks refined, this person is eloquent, this person is charismatic, so this person has a white coat, this person has whatever, is well put together. So this is a moment that It isn't about tearing people down, but it's about understanding the world that we ourselves have built, and understanding that it can become a very dangerous place if we don't exercise discernment. So I think this is a teachable moment for all of us to look into ourselves and see, where do we go from here in terms of how we allow other persons to influence us.